Alright, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. I've been coming at you with a series of video presentations for the Murox HTML4 and CSS3 4th edition textbook based on their PowerPoints. This textbook is one of two used for the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application Web Development 1000 Web Development Technologies class. I'm in the middle of Chapter 13 here, and we're about to come in and talk about some HTML5 attributes for data validation. Autocomplete required and no validate. Alright, why do you want to use these? Well, notice for the phone we've got required and we've got autocomplete equal off. What happens when you go to run these forms, just so you see this, is if I come through here and run this, I'm going to come in here and type in Jeff. Alright, you'll notice it's got a little bit of autocomplete. But after, now notice it's got Scott here, 755, that's the autocomplete. Alright, so I could do that. Sometimes you may want to do that, but you also may want to turn that off. So if you want to turn it off, all you have to do, for instance, let's say for age. Alright, so I just came in here and for age and I said autocomplete equal off. That's all I'm doing. Now I come back here again and I set that up. So again, you see it's still there, and there, and there, and there, etc. But notice once we get down to here, it's not there anymore because I turned the autocomplete off. Autocomplete being on can be a very nice thing to have while you're testing because you end up having to type in less. Alright? Now here's some error message and some highlighting. Okay? So do I care about that? Not especially, but notice we can put in no validate, which basically says we're not doing any validation on it. All right, and the other one that was there was required. All right, I'm going to go and put in required on, let's just add it to every field we've got in here. All right, how do we do that? We just come in and at the end, it doesn't matter where we put it, the order in which we put these attributes like I'm showing you right now is totally immaterial. I'm going to leave the autocomplete. I'm just going to change this to required. And we'll make, you typically wouldn't take gender. As long as you got one checked, one will always be chosen anyway. Comments probably wouldn't be required, but let's come in here and do all this. So we're going to come in, and we're going to say that the first name is required, that the last name is required, address is required, city is required, the state we've already got chosen, the zip code will be required. We already did email and age. So now notice, much different than what we had before. So when I refresh, it doesn't look that different, and somehow address got goofed up, and I don't really care. I think I removed a line break there. But notice if I click submit now, please fill out this field. And it'll keep doing this all the way along because, why? Because it's a required field. All right, I do want to go back and fix this. So right before address, like I said, I must have from here. Oh, there, see that? Required. Type equals text, equals last name. Somehow I lost that. There we go. All right, that'll fix that. Now, if I do want to go back, because again, as I mentioned, I can be a little bit anal about this stuff. And it doesn't look bad except for the gender, etc. This stuff. So we could add some stuff in there. And it's interesting because I haven't done that before. So let's just try it. All right. Oh, the reason we're getting that is we said that the width of this, I think, is 50%. And I think it may still be, no, it's not 50%. I apologize. It's not. So let's see if we come in here with the gender, we can fix that. You know what? Let's do it the way the author did it, which means that we'll come in here and where we've got gender, that instead of putting in blank spaces, we'll put in a line break here and here. So how does that change the way this looks? All right. So we've got gender, we've got male. Somehow this gets pushed way over. I'm not sure why that's happening, but it's looking a little nicer. And the contact via, we can put that in there also. All right. So let's see. You know what? I'm just going to Google how to format a CSS radio button group. All right. And how to create custom CSS radio buttons, CodePen. I'm looking for something really easy. Styling checkboxes and radio buttons using CSS. That sounds like what we're looking for. All right. So let's grab what they have here, and we'll use that. We'll go over it, but let's put it in first and see if it helps or hurts what we're trying to do. So this says that if we are working with either one of these, that the width should automatically be 28 pixels. I don't like you working with pixels. So let's just say 2 rems. We're going to talk about all that later. We'll have no margin. We'll have no padding. We'll have no opacity. This is all stuff we're going to be talking about. Now, hopefully I made it look better and not worse, but we'll find out right now. And that is, we'll come back to here. All right. Well, that looks better. Somehow I lost that. I'll have to fix that up. Okay? I don't want to get, where we're taking all our time going over this. All right? So I think what I'll do is I'll just grab what they have there. And for now, comment that out. Okay? All right. There are pseudo classes for fields: required, valid, and invalid. All right. The input, I already started to show you this one. Okay. But you've seen a little bit, you can work with regular expressions. What the heck does that mean? All right. Again, it's something we're going to be covering in a lot more depth and breadth of coverage later, but just to show you one. All right. I want to make sure I'm using the right syntax. That's what I need is pattern. All right, I'm going to come back up. I'm going to actually add a field here. So we've got what? City, state, zip. All right, we've got that email. I'm going to add that line. You'll see why in just a moment. Right, and I'm going to make a phone field here. Phone, and it's going to say phone, and it's going to be of type tel, short for telephone. The ID will be phone. The name will be phone. It'll be required. But now what I want to add is this pattern right here. All right, and what that pattern says is when you're putting in a phone number, I'll need to put in 3 digits, followed by a hyphen, followed by 3 digits, followed by a hyphen, followed by 4 digits. All right, let's try it. So, Jeff, Scott, notice the phone is in here now and it wasn't before. Now notice, I still have the from other times I've used this. So I'm going to put that in. Right? These are still goofed up, so I'll have to fix those. But when I click submit, it's submitted. Now, why is that important? Well, I'm going to come in here and add an extra 5. So it's really wrong now. When I click submit, notice I get please match the requested format. I would have to add another format if I wanted to be able to come in here and put the area code in parentheses. All right. Now, there's a very nice site that you can use to start working with this, and it's called HTML5 pattern.com. Not much to look at, but it shows if I want to do a phone number, how I can do a regular expression pattern, and email, etc. Plus, there's a site called regx-info.com. It's something like that. That isn't it. So regularexpressions.info. Ugly site. All right. But it's unbelievably functional. You can get a tutorial on how to do regular expressions. You can see how you use regular expressions with different languages, all right, etc. So I'm going to give you both those just so you've got them. So again, these two that I would recommend that you start taking a look at are HTML5 pattern.com and regularexpressions.info. A lot of really good information in there. All right. I want to finish this up. There's a data list, which is kind of neat. So you can come in there. This is a good example here of a data list. That if I came in here and notice that there is an O in Google and an O in Yahoo, but there aren't O's in these. If I put it in O, it would change the list so it would only have words in it with an O. All right? So it's a way that you can, kind of make a search, for lack of better words, to make it a little easier for somebody working with something. All right? Again, these are newer: email, URL, and tell. The tell one especially is one that doesn't work with every browser. The range control, I already showed you this with the number. All right, there's a number, and it's min-max. I think I used minimum and maximum, so I have to change those to min and max. All right, but there's a problem with that, and I want to show you that. Again, I'm trying to not spend too much time on this, and that is, so on mine for age, I didn't put in minimum and a maximum. That's why I didn't have anything. So let's come in here and say min equals 1, max equals 125. All right, those are just numbers I'm coming up with. But when I come back here now and I refresh, notice for the age, I can keep going, but when I get down to 1, I can't make it any smaller than that. When I get over to 125, I can't make it any larger than that. But I can still come in here and manually type that in, which would be wrong, all right? But you could do that anyway. There's date and time controls. These are nice. This is called a date picker. So especially if you work for an organization that, for example, used things like calendars to set up appointments, that could be very nice. You can put in search controls. All right. Pop you into Google. Color controls are pretty easy. Choose your background color. I could say choose your favorite color. And as soon as you come in and you put in a type equal color, it brings up the color picker like this. I didn't think that was really appropriate for the sign-up form that I gave you. You wouldn't typically ask someone their favorite color. All right. Yeah, that's adding some JavaScript. It's no big thing. Progress and meter, you can do these things. So if I was having something where I was doing a fundraiser and I wanted to show you how close we were to our goal, we could use that. Notice again, we have to use some JavaScript in here. So the form that they use in the book is this San Joaquin Town Valley, which is a lot nicer looking than mine. You notice that they have 1, 2, 3, 4 different field sets. The legend on the first one is registration information. The legend on the second one is member information. The legend on the third one is membership information. And the legend on the last one is submit your membership. They also have it set up so that if you leave fields out, it turns red. All right. And they give you all of the HTML for this. And then they give you all of the CSS for it. All right. So that's pretty much it for this particular chapter. When I come back in a few minutes, we'll go over Chapter 14, which is much shorter, and it's on how to add audio and video to your website. I'll be back with that shortly.